I can't even read my own handwriting half the time when I'm going to transcribe later.
Where's the mic? You know, make sure.
Built right in.
There's going to be a lot of noise in the room, so. Okay.
I want to get a little background for the readers first, you know. They went to the University of Miami, and they working with cats like Yako down there, Pat Metheny. I just recently read a story that you got expelled from school, got yourself expelled from school shortly before that because didn't want to get your hair cut or something.
It was a constant thing. It just at one point I didn't go back when I got 16 years old. But I'd anticipated that moment and was ready for college by taking my SATs when I was a freshman. And then I applied for some kind of early admission program to a local college. And I transferred from there to University of Miami. So I didn't really need a college or a high school degree.
That must have been a great scene down there. Pat Metheny, Jack of the Stars.
Hiram Bullock.
Hiram Bullock was down there too?
He played in our band.
Really?
Well, he was getting so many gigs, he wasn't dependable.
Yeah.
Great player. He's
Sure.
an incredible bass player too.
Really?
And Rod, our drummer, Rod Morgenstein, was a keyboard player. And he was a great keyboard player.
No, was Alan Sloan? Was he down there at that time too?
Yeah, he just walked in while we were playing. In fact, it was me and Hiram both playing guitars at that time. And he walked in and introduced himself and said he wanted to play with us, so we added him. Then Hiram started getting so many gigs that he dropped out.
You started one of the first rock trios down there.
That's crazy.
Did you start one of the first rock trios?
Well, it's called the Rock Ensemble. We're the second rock ensemble. There was a horn band, really. So we were the rock ensemble number 2.
Tell me a little bit about Twiggs Linden. I understand he helped you get signed, get the ball rolling, so to speak.
Well, he was our mentor. He told us the ways of the world, things that bands don't usually know when they open up shows, like how important it is to not play a minute over your allotted time, and how you shouldn't bug other people and get in the way of the other
call him
band.
on that for guitar, in fact. It was very succinct that way, I thought.
Well, you have to. Some people never thought about it. I mean, I see when bands open for us, the kind of things I see are just amazing. I mean, it's beyond just common courtesy. It just gets into, what? I can't even describe how weird it is when people
The
do.
advice you give about not burning your bridges because you have to cross them again later. More people would do well to follow that.
Yeah, and it works both ways too. We try to make sure and treat the opening acts the best we can, and tell the road crew to give them everything that they possibly can because, we're playing non-commercial music, and we might end up opening for them sometime.
Did you pick the act tonight with that?
No, we haven't picked anybody for this tour.
How long has the tour got to run still?
Probably at least through June.
Right.
I don't know. We can keep going if you want.
I read something pretty interesting about you flying planes, I guess, during your time off. Do you still do that from time to time, or is it something you just put behind you?
Oh, no.
That's some kind of hobby.
At one point, I was flying for a living, for my job. And that's when I cut off all my hair and was real, I had the military haircut and everything. Because that's one of the requirements,
I never saw any pictures, but I saw it shorted anyways.
Yeah, you have to look like a pilot to get the job. And I got the job, and I flew for about 5 months. And I noticed even that short amount of time, a little bit of me was being lost musically. Even though I really like the flying job, and I think it's a neat way to make a living because you travel during the day, or you travel a few hours, maybe somewhere between 4 and 12 hours a day, and then instead of going to work after that, you're done.
Yeah.
Whereas in music, you can travel 4 to 12 hours a day and then have to go to work.
The article I read seemed at the time you were at the crossroads, whether you wanted to really pursue the flight.
I fly every day at home.
So it's pretty much a love.
Oh yeah, everything.
That's
I work on the planes myself. I just love it. The band travels in my plane too, most of the time. This leg we're not because the routing. It's too easy to drive. And when we get out west, we're going to take the plane everywhere, like we did last tour.
How about the Biff Baby All-Stars? Want to talk about that a little bit? Saw you guys out in San Diego a couple times, and went to the guitar clinic you did. North Pub there.
All right.
And how'd you hook up with Albert Lee and Ernie and those guys? How'd that all come about?
Just I saw Albert Lee at a NAMM show, and I got Arlen Roth to introduce me. Actually, he forced us on stage.
Forced you on stage?
Arlen. Albert was playing, and Arlen, he's not a shy guy. He walked up on stage and started playing with Albert, and then he brought me up. We kind of took over, and Albert just blew me away.
He's something.
Yeah, man, he's untouchable. The best, just natural soloist I've ever seen. And I had known the Ernie Ball guys. They were letting me use their strings and stuff, and not asking anything from me. I thought they were really nice people. And then I went and visited the factory in California. And the father, Ernie Ball, and his sons are all working there, and they're all in the factory walking around, you know. Everybody's friendly, everybody's wearing shorts, and you know, they're riding their bicycles inside the factory, you know, from delivering parts and stuff, you know. It's a really cool atmosphere, and I said, hey, this is a neat place to work. I told them that I wanted to work with them. And they set up clinics exclusively, and string endorsement, you know. But the string endorsement was just, you know, it was not a big deal. It was just something we did, you know. This is all before the days of, you know, big Japanese companies buying people. This was strictly, you know, endorsement, not a paid, you know, endorsement. It's like the sports things are paid, and some big rock stars are paid.
What you're saying and promote.
Yeah. I've only been endorsing companies that I would like to support, and companies that whose products I use anyway, and that's very important. And it just so happens that all the stuff I've done has been, you know, in, you know, American companies. And I mean, I have nothing against the Japanese at all, but I am definitely trying to help the American companies too. You know?
Such as PV and Ernie Ball.
Yeah, PV, Ernie Ball, Ovation.
Is your guitar still available? Special edition?
Yeah, it's a small scale production because it's a handmade guitar with no whammy bar.
You did like a limited edition.
Yeah, they still make them every year. I've tried twice a year, I think they make them. Mine is a production model too. It's not a special prototype.
Is it exactly close to your original Telecaster as far as electronics and whatnot?
Yeah, that's what I tried to do, is take everything I liked about that guitar that was one of a kind, and then make it, the things I didn't like, better. And this one balances better, it tunes, stays in tune better, and it has better harmonics. And I really was hard to convince that it would be better. It took me a long time to get the guitar just right. And finally, I just had to say, well, this is a nice guitar, and I started using it.
Handwriting half the time I'm going to transcribe with.
Where's the mic? You know, make sure.
Built right in.
There's gonna be a lot of noise in there. So I wasn't using it, but I grew up with that guitar, so I keep it at home.
With the Dregs, you know, the illustrious career of the Dregs obviously is well documented. And one thing I was curious about is what brought about the decision to bring in like Alex Liquorwood on the vocals after you had gone to, you know, pretty much great lengths to establish yourself as the premier rock instrumental band at that point.
Well, it was a lark, really, because
A lark?
yeah, our record our manager, we were signed in a contract with the manager, and they said that they would let us out of the management contract if we did a couple vocal tunes, and it didn't increase the record sales.
Huh.
And we said,
Sweet deal.
let's try it. You know, because we wanted out.
Huh.
At that point, we wanted out of every contract. I'll tell you that.
Is that what broke up the Drag?
Business problems were a big part of it. But I mean, we weren't businessmen, you know.
Live and learn, right?
We got reamed so many different ways, but you know, I wish we'd known more. And that's one of the things I try to pass on in these clinics and writing the columns and stuff like that. Is
I've noticed you cover the business side as much as the music.
well, I decided my column's going to be different. It's going to talk about stuff that other people don't mention. You know, hopefully.
You should know. You should know this stuff.
And I'm in a way, I'm uniquely qualified because I've existed in a very realistic strata my whole career. You know, it's never been, hey, I'm a superstar, I'm on TV, you know, I'm incredibly cool. It just is. Here I am, you know, playing clubs. Every once in a while we get a little break, but most of the time it's just reality, you know. And by living in that reality spectrum for so many years, I mean, you just pretty much see it all, and you know how it works, and you know, it's easy to see the balance of forces that it takes to make a living.
Now you have some pretty high visibility with Kansas, though.
Sure, and that taught me a lot of things too.
Sure, the arena style gigs. How'd you end up being involved with them?
Just again, I enjoy doing different things, like this gig we just did with Albert Lee and Van Halen at Great Davis All Star. Things like that. I just like doing different things. The Kansas thing was just something to do, and it turned into a longer project. And I thought, because each step of the way I was like, well, okay, we're just going to do this. Okay, we did this, and now we got the record company wants to do another record. Well, okay, well, let's talk about it. And I don't know if we can, you know, I said, I don't know if I can go on tour or not, but we don't know if we're going to even have a tour. So we did it, and it turns out we had a tour. So, we, you know, just one thing led to another. It was fun to do. It was not possible for me to do it for the rest of my life because I missed being in charge. But it's just good training for me to learn how to play as a member of a team. Most of the time, I've been the the musical dictator, at least in my bands.
It seemed like you were friends with Steve Walsh for a number of years because you played on his solo album.
Yeah, he was the real reason that the band getting back together was interesting to me. Because he left the album, left the band when they were at their peak.
Sure.
And I felt like he was pretty much the real voice.
Really?
Yeah.
You're on MCA Records now,
Yeah.
Southern Steel. How'd you meet up with Dave and Van?
Well, we did a Greg's reunion right when Rod joined Winger. He knew he was going to be gone for a while. Nice to meet you. Rod knew he was going to be gone for a while on the road, and we did a couple weeks as the Dregs, and Andy West couldn't do it. We did a little recording together, but he couldn't do the tour.
And what came with the recording? It was just on the side.
It was just for Insonic, a keyboard company, another American company. They were trying to do all these weird things. You know, I'm not. I mean, I own lots of Japanese things. You know? I'm not like a hardcore, I don't know what you call it, redneck about being American. Yeah.
Flag waving.
Yeah.
I know this.
I mean, I'm just saying that it just by coincidence happens that that's the kind of company that appeals to me to work with. Is the people that kind of they just built their company from guys with ideas. Rather than a huge conglomerate, they can pay lots of money for everything.
Now, how do you fit in your schedules? Obviously very hectic. How do you fit in the column writing?
It's tough. I had to write this right before I went on this leg. I had to write and turn one in early, and now as soon as I get home, I got to turn one in. So I have a little computer.
Oh, that helps. Do that while you travel then.
Yeah, I'm gonna try, but I need a better one. It's a little too little. I need to get a better word processor for doing it on the road.
Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I'll probably finish with one of those insightful Rolling Stone type questions. What's on your turntable or CD player right now? What kind of stuff are you listening to?
Last thing I played.
You have time.
Last thing I played was the next to last cut on the Enya watermark.
Oh wow!
It's in Gaelic, so I don't know what the words are, but it's the most haunting ballad I've ever heard in my life. I listen to that a lot.
Stuff like that can sell nowadays, which I find really encouraging. These kind of things that would have been.
Well, it's on Geffen, and they can sell just about anything.
Yeah. But that is exciting. See stuff like that, and Enigma out there.
Yeah.
Even the Divinyls have a hit record now. Stuff that was completely out of the realm of the mainstream just 2 years ago.
Well, this Enya thing is the best sounding recording I've ever heard. She just he just kind of exemplifies beautiful music to me. It's nothing, obviously nothing like I play, but you know,
Yeah, it's
not even close.
an interesting revelation. Yeah.
I listen to some classical stuff, like Walter Carlos, who's now Wendy Carlos. All the Carlos realizations of the classics, especially the Monteverdi and Bach stuff.
Yeah.
That,
Well, the roots of your training are all classical playing, obviously.
well, not the roots. I would say that happened pretty much after I was pretty well set as a rock blues player. But I got interested in it later. You know, I mean, I was always interested. I just got the training later.
As far as roots, what are your roots as far as classical that bleeds into your style of writing and playing?
Well, it's the real roots was, you know, the Rolling Stones, Chuck Berry.
I meant classical.
Oh, I'm sorry, classical. That would be just studying in college, studying classical guitar with the instructors I had there. Juan Marcadal is a Cuban guitarist, really into a lot of South American and Argentine composers and a lot of real rhythmic stuff. You know, he's not a wimpy classical guitarist. He's like
Fiery.
kind of. He's not flamenco, but he's just, you know, he can go for it and get it.
What I was looking for is a period of classical that really
Oh, I'm sorry.
it
Baroque.
shines in.
Sure.
Baroque? Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'm definitely.
Particular composers from the Baroque.
Well, Bach is the man for me because he has all the, you know, rhythmic perfection and harmonic perfection. You know, I mean it's but he puts melody into it